It's the moment a lot of us has been waiting for. We as the audience have been getting little pieces of the mystery fed to us, but the characters in the show are usually left in the dark for the vast majority of it. Not only did they clear up a lot of questions that we originally had, but everyone else in the show is up to speed with it as well. It's awesome to see that it was a team effort of everyone getting their own portion of the puzzle and bringing it together to form a conclusion. It's kind of funny and ironic at the same time that Chang finally gets a taste of his own medicine for what Lu Guang has to deal with when working with him, as he tries to defy the fated sequence and oversight, a variable that he did not consider, and that's him being a complete impulsive idiot and will likely continue to run attention even if he told him not to. As Chang tries to outplay him the second time around, we finally get answers to why he was originally kicked out of Tenchi's body back at the apartment. There can only be one person that can take over a body at any given time, and it seems like Tenchin has the ability to override Chang's. Physical contact was made when Tenchi was being comforted by Tenchin, and Tenchi is holding the picture as Chang was originally directed by Lu Guang to save him moments before, allowing Tenchin to possess whoever was in the photo. I originally hoped that Chang was kicked out of Tenchi's body because he can only possess one person at any given time, because otherwise this will allow plot holes exist, but we never had a confirmed situation where that occurred, so it still could have been the case even given this new revelation. We also don't know if Tenchin overrides Chang's possession every single time and it wouldn't work the other way around, where Tenchin possesses someone and Chang jumps into the photo to try to kick him out. My previous theory on Chang having to be the one to possess Lulan could still potentially hold up, as the reality warping special effects was similar to episode 1 when Lu Guang seemingly changed history. Or it could have been just a lingering experience from Tenchi's body as Tenchin possessed her. We'll just have to wait and see before we can make a confident conclusion. Now for Tenchi's abilities, unfortunately it wasn't fully explained because we didn't get the exact limitations such as the exact time intervals and restrictions she has, such as can she explore the vicinity and possess people who weren't in the original photo. On paper, her abilities seems very similar to Lu Guang's, but they're quite different with key distinctions. Her abilities seem to be more close and personal and is only effective at knowing the timeline relating to the person in the photo and their memories, as she's just simply transported into the photo in spirit and cannot interact with anything, meaning she likely doesn't have the entire timeline mapped out, while Lu Guang is an overseer in the photo, almost like a game master in a way, able to see the events in the 12 hours interval in its entirety and in complete detail. The important differentiation to Tenchin is that he's only able to possess people with Tenchi's abilities because she's able to make contact with them in spirit form. Back at the car during the night raid of the hospital unit, Keen hands a photo to Tenchin and he looks at it like he's gaining some sort of intel beyond the obvious visual information that is just a photo of Bin. Whether or not his powers goes beyond simply just possessing people through touch, it's unsure, because the scene could have been done this way solely for the purpose of originally deceiving us on their abilities. Tenchin then calls Tenchi over, telling her that they're going to have dinner, and I think the way they said it could have been misconstrued in a way that she has been oblivious to all the time Tenchin possessed her, and came up with lies to trick her. If you think back to the Fox animation, Tenchi was aware of Tenchin hunting the birds, which are the metaphoric representation of his victims. And what happens when hunters make a kill? They eat. And that's probably what he meant by "we're having dinner" in his sociopathic way of saying that he's going to kill someone. It feels like Tenchi has come to terms with the reality that this is what they do in order to survive now. What broke her this time is that their victim Bin had a family and his wife with a baby on the way, meaning the child would grow up without a father. The topic of having families torn apart is a source of trauma for her for obvious reasons. Unable to bear seeing her brother continue down this path in which she probably ignored for the sake of keeping them together, she ran away, and you see Tenchin chase after her. Originally when Keen threatened Tenchi in front of him, and I said it was unlikely that he doesn't care for her and would ignore it. Seeing him run after her and abandon the mission does build more confidence into this claim, as I was previously slightly worried Keen might have a firmer hold on Tenchin than I thought, being the surrogate father and a mentor to him in a lot of ways. This next scene where Tenchi gets handed a photo of Lu Guang and is asked about his current situation is quite interesting. If we're basing off the assumption that Tenchi knows Tenchin has been murdering people through possessing her, which is the most likely given the portrayal of the Fox animation, then would seeing Lu Guang get tortured or potentially worse be enough to cause her to get emotional like that? Because we end up seeing Lu Guang actually get treatment for his bleeding, which seemed to be life-threatening. So currently it's not in Tenchin's interest to kill Lu Guang right now, so she could be crying about something entirely different. It sucks that we don't have the exact time limitations, but let's just presume that it's 12 hours. I am betting on the fact that the reason behind her crying probably doesn't have anything to do with Lu Guang, which was originally used as a means to trick the audience, but rather it might be foreshadowing that something terrible could be happening to Tenchin instead. As they make preparations to take their bait to exchange Chang for Lu Guang, we see Tenchi volunteer to come along, and she doesn't seem like someone who would take initiative on situations like these. So we should immediately be questioning her reasoning for coming. We already know that in the end their plan falls apart, because they didn't take into account that they're being tailed by the buzzcut goon. During the entire operation while Tenchi was in the car, for once she looked like she had some conviction in her. Tenchi should be able to have a good grasp on Lu Guang's situation at bare minimum, so she must have known that the plan ends up falling apart. And she doesn't seem like the type to play double agent and trick them, but she must have purposely let things play out the way they did. Keen's sole objective is to capture Chang, while Tenchin might prioritize getting his sister back, and this might end up causing a rift between them. If a situation arises where they have to choose between the two, a part of me has a sneaking suspicion that Tenchi purposely came along because she knew that something terrible would happen to Tenchin from the information she gathered from the photo of Lu Guang. There's one scene in particular that caught my attention. It was during the plan to rescue Lu Guang. We see the chief staring at his phone, which appears to be the surveillance footage of the police station, the same hallway where they initially interrogated Tenchin. He was quite preoccupied by it even though they were in a dangerous situation, and his focus was only broken when Shaolin called him. Could the chief be cooking something himself solo? That would be crazy because we've seen him take the initiative a lot recently. And if he ends up getting his own segment for himself, that would be pretty hype. Because ever since the second season, it still felt like the trio was still running the show. And it's only been very recently that the chief has been making strides in being one of the main players. So he's overdue for some appreciation by the production. There is one last point I want to touch up on, and that's the fact that the first time we see a gun in the series, it's held by the hands of the enemy. Which is kinda hilarious because we legitimately have the police department on our side, and I'm pretty sure guns are heavily regulated in China. We only have 2 episodes left and the Hat Guy has yet to make an appearance. Judging by the way Link Click episodes and finale goes, he's likely gonna come in the last episode and completely screw over all their plans, and we're gonna be left with another cliffhanger. I can already feel the pain that is to come, I just know it. That about wraps up this week's episode, a little slower than I'd like, but the last 2 episodes should be insane. And I'll continue to cover them as usual, so I'll see you all next week.